down the road, you're still learning to heal. What people don't realize is abuse is so real and it's so raw. It almost takes you forever to really say, you know what, I'm over that. You'll be okay. But to just really be like, I'm over that, to where I'm not going to think of that. This is not going to move me in that way. But it's not, because now you're looking at your spidey sensors are going off and you're thinking like, okay, his ass might be crazy too. And it makes you react in a way that now you're defensive, or now you're putting all the men in the same category, in which we have to learn to not do that. Once you have got out of an abusive relationship and you've healed and you got with yourself and you've took time to love you and learn you, it's another learning process to not put everybody in the same bubble.
Yeah, and Char, you're going to have good days and you're going to have not so good days. I mean, I know when I was feeling some kind of way one time with my current husband, I was all of a sudden big and bad. I'm like, oh, you want to fight me? Bring it on. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
You turned into Ike Turner on him.
Yeah. Don't you be abusive, Rachel. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, nobody is ever going to ever do anything like that to me again. I will fight you.
Right. And Lena just said it's a defense mechanism from trauma. And that is true. You suffer PTSD after being in an abusive relationship. And it is, LaTanya, it is easier said than being done. But so I just want to touch on a few bases, and we're going to talk about the now. But things that I want people to listen to when you're in an abusive relationship. Ladies, let me tell you, abuse comes in all shape, forms, in ways you do not deserve for someone to cuss you out, to call you a bitch, to call you a whore, to tell you you're worthless, to tell you you ain't shit. That's not right. That's abuse. You don't deserve it. And it starts there. And once they find your weakness, then they want to hit you. Then they want to really lay down the law. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When you start seeing those signs that this person will disrespect you in such a manner, something is wrong. That's a red flag. If it's early enough for you to get out, get out. I don't care about the sex. I don't care about the money. I don't care about what I got tied in. Get out. Drop it like it's hot. Run and run fast, because it starts there. And if he can defame you so bad that he would belittle you in front of people or in just by yourself, that's not right. That is abuse. Get out. Talk to somebody. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't try to cover for this person, because we do that. We want our mates to look good to everybody on the outside. You got to stop doing that. Put yourself first. Love yourself enough that, hey, I'm going to think of this the smart way. Don't act rash. I'm not saying, hell, I will tell you, if you got to just wake up and leave when he at work, wake up and leave when he at work. Get out. But you know what I mean? Just make sure that you strategize. Make sure you have somebody that you can really talk to. That people that are going to have your back. Not somebody that's going to, girl, having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. No, those are not the type of people that you want to run to. And just strategize. Find ways to escape. I do want to give you guys the domestic violence phone number. This is the national phone number. It's 1-800-799-7233. I got some more comments every time I go to somewhere, but I have to interact with our listeners. So MJ said, which is the guy that's online, he said, I like that you said mental abuse. Just want to say that a lot of men and women don't realize that verbal and mental abuse can hurt someone just as much as physical abuse. I've been through it myself, also mentally abused someone, but I know that I've learned and that I've grown from that mistake. So
that's really good to hear, and I'm glad that we have a man in on this discussion as well, because these men that are abusive, they do need help.
They do.
But they need to seek it out for themselves. You can't do it for them. They have to want it. And I know it's hard on a man's ego and all of these other things. But do not feel responsible for their healing too. Whoever they may be. You're only responsible for your own.
Okay. So I got a very, very, very good question. Miss Jones, you said But even if you stay aware of things can catch you off guard. So would you rather put your situation, I think you meant to say, would you rather put yourself in a situation where you have to watch your back, or let God put you in a situation where you don't have to watch your own back? And I'm going to answer that to the best of my ability. Then Miss Rachel, I want you to answer it. So it is very dangerous when you're in a abusive relationship. This is when you have to weigh your pros and your cons. Your pros are, this is your life and you want to live. If you stay, there's a chance that he will kill you, or you'll kill yourself from being just so down and out. I mean, a lot of things can happen from you staying. You take a chance at leaving, because if you leave, yeah, you do have people that will roll up on you and shoot you down and do all kind of stuff and beat you because you left. That's why we say you have to be very smart when you decide, hey, I'm out of this. I'm over it. And you have to be serious. Fear is what drives an abuser. If they can sense fear in you, they will use that fear to their best ability. But when you have taken all that you can take and you're fed up and I'm ready to leave, you get powers from places you never knew you had. And you plan and you strategize and you leave. I am a firm believer of God. God is the only thing that helped me get to where I am today in my healing. But God also told me to get the hell out of there when I can. God didn't tell me to stay and just wait. You know, that's my take on it. Now, Rachel, you can answer that, but that's my take on it.
All right, so repeat the question one.
Okay, so she said, but even if you stay aware of things can catch you off guard. So would you rather put yourself in a situation to where you're watching your back, or would you rather let God put you in a situation?
So I feel like what she might be trying to say, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. Let's say you're in this situation and they just beat you down, or they verbally beat you down, whatever it may be. And then the flowers come, and I'm sorry, baby, I never meant to do this, I'll never do it again. All of the promises. And that keeps you on a roller coaster ride, right? Up and down and up and down. And I guess my question to anyone out there is, when you go to bed at night, can you sleep peacefully when you are there with that person? Or are you always, like you say, feeling like you're watching your back and walking on eggshells? I used to feel like if I didn't do everything just right or perfectly, he's going to come home and yell at me, and it's never good enough and all of that. Or would you rather trust and believe that God will lead you to and it might just be a baby step, to a resource that you Google, or a shelter that you talk to and they give you resources, or a church, or whatever it may be. I would say just try to find somebody that you can trust and that you can talk to, because even if you decide to stay in that situation, because it's not always easy to leave right away. They may have gotten you into a position where you don't have an income, you don't have transportation. For me, I always had a job and I always had a car. I had a lot more than other people out there, so it was maybe a little easier for me to navigate or whatever sometimes. But I don't know. For me, I cherish my peace now in my life. I don't want anything to disturb it, but things do sometimes. I don't know. I don't feel like I gotta watch my back anymore, and that's a good thing. I don't know if I answered that well for whoever wrote that.
I think you did. And just to touch back on that, you have to know that, real talk, when a woman leaves, there is a chance that she will get killed. That's just a proven fact. That's what happens. You can go to your friend's house, and if the guy is that type of guy, he'll hurt both people. He don't care. He's enraged. And that's when God comes really into place. Like, God, I need you to lead me, protect me, and guide me. And you still have to do what's best for you. So that's when you weigh your pros and cons and you take your chance to really live. And like you said, Miss Rachel, you need peace. And you can't change a broken person. You just can't. If that person is not willing to change on their own. And I joke sometimes and I say, oh, Lord Jesus, let him find another woman so he won't think of me. You know, but if he's really that crazy type person, it don't matter who he's with, if he's obsessed with you or something like that, then you have to get the law involved, and you really have to get away and stay away. I'm not saying move down the street to your mom's house or to your best friend's house. You really have to get out, meaning you have to get out.
I left the state, and then I also went across the ocean, but those were God opportunities. So you have to remember, a door will be open, and you gotta have the courage, even if you're afraid, to step through that door.
It takes a lot of courage. So Alicia wants to know, how did you keep the trauma out of your marriage? And TT, I'm going to get to your question next.
In my current marriage?
Yes.
I didn't.
Right, because you just said that you had issues with that. Mm-hmm.
It has been a hard road, and I believe we're in a great place now. But for the first 2 years, it was hard as hell, and all of my trauma came up. All of it came up. He has trauma from his life as well. But I think because we started as friends and got to know each other as friends first, we always were able to come back to that. And now we're both in therapy. Mm-hmm. On our own. He chose and I chose. So, no, I didn't have some Cinderella Prince Charming story, y'all. But he's a good man. He's a good guy, and he's my friend. And he has been patient, and he may be listening right now. He said he was going to try to listen tonight. And but even, I'll tell you what he said to me today. He said, I hope that your story helps other women. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? He's a keeper.
Yeah, I think I texted you and said that too.
Yeah,
so, Latanya says, sometimes you have to realize God don't like ugly, so staying in a bad situation is not of God. Miss Lena K said, do it afraid. And then Miss Shanika, I love you so much. Your energy, your questions, you're such a brilliant young lady. And she says, great answers. She was basically saying, I feel when you look for a man, you look for trouble. A man finds a good woman, and it's her job to choose him. That's why I said, let God put you in a situation. So that reminds me of, you know how older women used to say, a good man, he who finds a good thing finds a wife. Right. I think that's where that comes from. And also, people say, like, if a man is looking, he'll find you. You know, but I think that's this 2021. Yeah, ain't no wrong with me going up to a man and be like, hey, what your name is? Y'all know I'm goofy as they come. But, you know, I think it's nothing wrong with you know, finding, if you meet somebody and you guys become great friends and it goes there. Hey, I was lucky enough that mine found me. And I can't say that we have the issues that I had in my other relationships. We don't have, you know, the fairy tale relationship, but we have a great relationship and we're friends. But I didn't bring any of that into my relationship because I was single a while before, you know, us. And after that, but I had to find me. I was so out of it. I was really in a bad place in life, and it took all of me to get me out of that place, which means facing my fears, you know, and just saying, hey, whatever happens, it's going to happen, but I got to do better for me, and then I can do better for my children, because a lot of times if you're not doing better for you, you hurt your children, and you're not even realizing that you're hurting your kids because you're not right. So, you know, you just got to make sure that you are loving you and getting you healthy to get to that place that now I can be a good mother, a good friend, a good wife to my not only, you know, people that's in my life, because now I know how it feels and I'm well enough to do that. But if I'm broken, I'm not going to be any good to anybody.
And I will tell you that, and I know MJ is the only man in here probably, but women, we tend to put everything and everybody before us.
We do. Right? We wear a lot of hats.
Mm-hmm. And you give it all away, and then sometimes you're just left with nothing. And this is where Char and I were speaking about pouring into like a hobby, I don't know, reading a book, finding books that you love to read, taking that time. or your favorite Netflix shows that only you watch.